going to be, I think, a tremendously emotional Sunday that will just open everyone's heart. So if that's scary for you, come back. It'll be less intense another Sunday. Our vision here is awakening personal transformation, and I'm really going to work on that today for all of us. And our mission is teaching tools for positive change. Our theme for the whole year is right up here, and it is Your Joyous Life. And we're working on becoming more joyful, happier than we've ever been in our whole life. Our theme for May is Your Time is God's Time. And we're thinking about how we can use this gift, this divine gift, the best, because every moment, you know, as it goes from the present to the past, is a gift that has been used. So are we using it to the very, very best that we can? And the goal, of course, this month is to have more fun. So that's what we're about. And today we celebrate something that is very, very fun for a lot of us, and that's mothering. And it's very, very challenging for some of us, and that's mothering. And I want to draw your attention to the wonderful altar that actually was Sandra Aguerrebere's responsibility, and a lot of people participated by putting pictures of their moms up. And so I want to thank Sandra. Where are you? Thank you, darling. And everyone is, the moms first, but then everyone is welcome to take a rose. They're all in tubes, and they all came from my garden, and they're all very, very, very happy to be here today. So I was thinking about how we have acknowledged mothers for the 20 years that I've been here, and we're doing it differently. I don't know, it just seems like after 2 decades it's time to do something different. Because mothering is deeply joyful, and then there are some parts I know that people have experienced that are not particularly joyful, including scary, and then they're empowering, it's thrilling, it's frustrating, it's magnificent, it's disappointing, it's hard work, it's waiting, and it's having time move too fast, all of it together. So we have a new way of honoring mothers, which is going to be, this is one of those challenging opening hearts kind of things. So I'll describe what's going to happen, and you can choose whether you want to do it or not, and it'll be fine. We'll get right through it in about 10 or 15 minutes if you don't want to participate. But what I would like to do first is all the men who are willing to get up off your chairs and surround the room in a lovely embrace of the women. And if you just go to the edges of the room, and if it's hard for you to stand up for 10 or 12 minutes, just grab a chair and sit. And so, so as this container is being made, and you can fill up some here, can somebody help Bob turn around? So this is, because he's going to want to be part of the protective circle. So women, I want you to feel this amazing and wonderful protective presence around you. All of these men have volunteered to become this container to honor, acknowledge, and love you. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to call out some circumstances and conditions about mothering. And if you have experienced these, or if you know someone who has experienced these. Bob, can you sit down? So just sit. Yeah, good. Yeah, there you go. Good. So if you have experienced these conditions, whether you are a man or a woman, or if you know someone, just raise your hand, and we'll go slowly enough so that everyone can look around. And I want to say something about conditions, because in this philosophy, we teach that conditions do not rule us. That, in fact, the conditions that we love, we can affirm and create more of, but they don't rule us. And especially those conditions that are hurtful, that we don't like, they don't rule us as well. But conditions that are hurtful are in our life to be healed. And sometimes the first step in healing them is to recognize that we are not alone. And so that is what this whole ritual is about, is realizing that in our mothering, no matter what has happened, we are not alone. And we have this amazing support system to help us through. So you ready for this? All right. So remember, just raise your hand, and if you fit this bill, you can raise your hand too. And all of it is a choice. You do not have to. All right. So for moms who have little ones at home and wear the badge of food stains, mothers or grandmothers, let's look around. We celebrate you. Those who have lost a child, look around. And keep your hands up so that we can acknowledge that there are a bunch of us. We hold you in our hearts. To those moms who are foster moms, mentor moms, moms who have adopted, and spiritual moms, we need you, we love you, we appreciate you. Next, to those who have experienced loss through miscarriage, abortion, failed adoptions, custody challenges, or children running away. We hold you in our hearts and know that there is a healing path. To moms who have warm and close relationships with your children and grandchildren. Oh. We celebrate you and are grateful. The world is grateful. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointments, we hold you in our hearts. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, physical or emotional, we hold you in our hearts in compassion. Be sure to look around and know that you are not alone in any of these. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we hold that path for you. There's Hillary, there's Deb right over there, you too. We hold that path may unfold for you. And to all of those men and women who lost their mothers this year or still feel her absence after a longer time, we hold you in our hearts. To all those men and women who experienced abuse at the hands of your own mother, we acknowledge and honor that experience and know that there is a path of healing. To those who step-parents, we honor you on this challenging and complex path. To those who envisioned lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we know that there is healing for your hurting heart. For those who have special traditions, jokes, and customs through the year that you enjoy playing with your children over and over again, we acknowledge and love those happy times with you. For those who never wanted to be mothers for children, but mother your pets or your projects, and we acknowledge that and appreciate you. For those who will have emptier nests this upcoming year, We grieve and rejoice with you. To moms who place children up for adoption, we honor that selfless decision and remember that you hold your child in your heart. And if there is anyone pregnant here, or if anybody knows a pregnant mom, so we can acknowledge the next generation, we love that. We love that there are new babies coming in. And then to dads who had to be moms and dads together, we honor you. So now we have an opportunity, if I missed something, if I missed a category that you were waiting for or that you think needs to be acknowledged, please come forward and speak that into the microphone. Did I miss anything? Well then, this Mother's Day, we all walk together. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We see you and acknowledge you. And at this time, I would also love to acknowledge these beautiful, strong, conscious, aware, and loving men who in this moment have created this container of safety and who do day after day for the women and mothers in their lives. Blessed be and thank you. You may be seated. Alrighty then, we can all mop up and continue. So the title for this talk right here is, What is the Path You Walk with Your Mother? So no matter if your mom is on this earth plane or not, we still walk a path with her. We walk a path with our moms because of the beliefs that she had, that she instilled in us, whether that was aware or not. We automatically believe what our parents believe until we change it, but that's what we start out with. The values that our family had are our values, at least to start out with. The fears that our mom held, and even if she did not want to transmit those fears, we caught them. And then we have, as we become a little older and we realize, I don't like all this stuff that I got from my parents, there's resistance. And sometimes the resistance keeps those very things in place. But that's part of the path that we walk with our mom. And then, of course, there's gratitude. There's got to be gratitude because we're all in this wonderful life, and there are moments that are priceless, 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 and those are because our mother bore us and gave us life. And then all of the memories that we have with our mom are a part of our pathway. We get so much from her. We get our physical characteristics. That's one of the reasons that I love this day so much, and other holidays like Father's Day and like Christmas, and when families come here together and I get to see the family resemblance. I mean, it's so striking. You never ever could give each other away because, you know, you look like each other. You're peas in a pod. So in this book that we're reading this year, it's called The Happiness Project, for those of you that don't have it yet. What I've been talking about, how we get these things, just like we get the brown eyes or the blue eyes from our parents, we get all of these values and beliefs and the structure for our lives. This is what the author says. Studies show that in a phenomenon called emotional contagion, we unconsciously catch emotions from other people, whether good moods or bad ones. So it's just like, it's exactly like inheriting DNA. when we are born into a family, that is the worldview that we have. And how safe, loved, and capable we feel at this moment is because of how we were raised, combined with the spiritual work that we have done. I'm going to say that again. It's exactly an equation. What you feel right now, how safe, loved, and capable you and I feel, is because of how we were raised, combined with the spiritual work that we have done. That's the sum total of how the weather is on the inside for us right now. And we actually replicate old experiences until we change our consciousness and become beacons for other situations. We keep, and I know you know this, we keep repeating situations and experiences, and sometimes we say, why is this happening to me again? Why is this happening to me again? Well, it's because we haven't changed that invitation that we have on the inside for the exact same thing to happen over and over and over again until we change the invitation on the inside. We replicate old experiences until we change our consciousness. So the theme, remember, for this month is that your time is God's time. And we are celebrating the Divine Feminine this morning, so we can talk about the goddess, that time is a gift of the goddess. And how we use it, whether we use it to replicate old experiences that are hurtful, or whether we use our time to heal that belief system on the inside so that we have a different invitation on the inside for new experiences, is our choice. And it's our choice every single day. Every single day, we have a choice about whether to make our own internal weather better and then attract other better experiences, or keep the same old tapes going. So we have another video about that. We know how to do videos now, so it's like so cool. So
these are roughly 28,835 jelly beans. I counted out 500 of them and used those to weigh the rest. In this pile, there's one jelly bean for each day that the average American will live. You might have more beans in your life, or maybe less, but on average, this is the time we have. Here's a single bean. It's your very first day. A special day, but kind of a rough day on everyone involved. Add 364 more and you have the first year of your life. Now, for a sense of scale, here are your first 15 years, 5,475 days, which brings us to the threshold of adulthood. And at that moment, this is the time that we have left. And this is, on average, what we will do with all that time. We will be asleep for a total of 8,477 days. Lucky, some of the time we'll be sleeping next to someone we love. We will be in the process of eating, drinking, or preparing food for 1,635 days. We'll be at work, hopefully doing something satisfying, for the 3,202 of those days. 1,099 days will be spent commuting or traveling from one place to another, maybe a little bit more if you live in LA. On average, we will watch television in one form or another for a total of 2,676 days. Household activities, like chores and tending to our pets and shopping, will take another 1,576 days. And we will care for the needs and well-being of others, our friends and family, for 564 days. We'll spend 671 days bathing, grooming, and doing all other bathroom-related activities. And another 720 days will go to community activities, like religious and civic duties, charities, and taking classes. After we remove all those beans, this is what remains. This is the time that we have left. Time for laughing, swimming, making art, going on hikes, text messages, reading, checking Facebook, playing softball, maybe even teaching yourself how to play the guitar. So what are you going to do with this time? How much of it do you think you've already used up? If you only had half of it, what would you do differently? What about half of that? How much time have you already spent worrying instead of doing something that you love? What if you just had one more day? What are you going to do today?
So, time to heal any of that stuff that we resent or that we're afraid of, or all that emotional contagion that we got from our moms that's not fabulous. But let's go through this lesson here, if you would. Okay, here we are. Our mother's influence is her greatest gift. So let's think for a moment of the things that we love or loved about life with Mom. And those things are with us forever. And the purpose of those things is to deepen. So my mother, and many of you know my mother, looked at me like I was the best thing in her life. From a gaze to a glance, I would get this love pouring out of her eyes. And so it's easy for me to do that for my children. They get it. When I look at them, they get the love pouring out of my eyes. And it works so well when you unconditionally love someone that it's rather late in my life, actually, that I figured out I could do that for everybody. I could actually look at everybody like they were the delight of my life. And I have nothing but love for them. And I am striving to do that. I'm trying to deepen my mother's lesson and do that for everybody. And if I forget, and if you don't get love pouring out of my eyes, just nudge me and say, what about that lesson? And I'll snap right out of it, I promise. So to really be seen as the miracle that we are is the best gift you can give anyone. I have a friend who is starting kind of a new career in midlife, which is substitute teaching in high schools. And he recently had an experience at a delinquent high school, teaching out of his subject matter. And it was hell. He said that the kids were, the language was god-awful. They were insensitive to each other and to everyone. It was chaos. It was so scary. And the atmosphere was dangerous. And I betcha that those kids were not gazed at thinking that they were the best thing that happened in their mom's life or in their dad's life or in anybody's life. And if they had been gazed at with that, oh my God, you are a miracle, they would not be having tantrums in high school, which is essentially what it is. It's like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. So that's my lesson for the love that my mom gave me. And whatever your lesson is, you got the perfect mom. You got the perfect mom with the perfect skill set for you to replicate the good things. Every mom has some skills. And so look at her skills and do them as well or better. So then, that's not all, of course. There are hurtful things. Every mom brings hurt into their child's life. And for those things, our goal is to heal it. So my mom judged herself harshly. And her guard was, she knew she shouldn't do this, but her guard was down with me. And every once in a while, she would berate herself. She was a perfectionist. And if it didn't turn out perfectly, she would talk to herself in hurtful ways, which hurt me. And I would fight with her. I would say, don't say that about yourself. And I catch myself now, because this is something that I learned from her that was hurtful for me, and I don't want to replicate it. So I catch myself when I berate myself, and I try to gently steer others away from that, because, you know, self-hate does not heal a thing. Let me say that again. Self-hate does not heal a thing. And damaging views of ourself or the world came from your mom's unskilled places. It's not that she visited anything upon you on purpose. It came from her unskilled places. And part of making the human race better and better and better is to look at the unskilled places of our parents and do them differently. That's what healing is all about. So if we have pain about anything with our parents, our moms, our dads, those are arrows pointing to what needs to be healed. And if you have some of those, if you have anything like that, we have got classes and practitioners that know how to take you through the healing path. They're right over there. They can pray with you at the end of the service. You can employ one as your personal practitioner. You can take a class and you can say, by the way, I have this going on in my life and I don't want it to go on in my life anymore. And we can work with you to heal that. Next is, because this is so thrilling, all healing is time inclusive. I didn't know how to say that any shorter, but what it means is that when you do a piece of healing work, it heals into the future and it heals into the past. It heals into the future because you're not going to do that hurtful thing anymore. And it actually heals into the past because it's like you have restored the years that the locusts have eaten. You don't think about the hurt in the past when it's healed. So I'll tell you a story about that. This was a story from a workshop that I took years ago about healing birth trauma and parental and child relations. So there's this mom who had a grown daughter who had a very hard time starting anything. She had ideas, she had passion, but when she actually put pen to paper or when she tried to take the first step, it didn't work. She just was too afraid. She wouldn't do it. And so what happened was the mom remembered the birth of this child and thought maybe there was something that related to her daughter's inability to take her first step into a project. Because when she was pregnant and in labor with the baby, the doctor was not available or not at the hospital. And the baby was coming pretty fast. And so they actually tied the mother's legs together to wait for the doctor. So the doctor came, the baby, I think that was a very bad decision. It could have gone much worse, but the baby was born. But you can see how this might have affected this child forever. It's like, I'm ready to be born. Oh, well, no, I can't be born. And so I can't take my first step on anything. So what this mother and grown daughter did together was visualize over and over exactly how they wished the birth had gone. With everybody right there, with it going smoothly, the baby just shooting right out, and everybody catching the baby and saying, you're right on time, thank you for coming. Doing that over and over again, and it healed going forward and going backward. It was like all that hadn't been started, just wasn't time yet, and now that girl was going. So when we heal, it heals all the people that we will ever meet, and it heals all of the hurt that has been in the past. Just take a breath and take that in. That is so fabulous, right? Lastly, gratitude grows. Everything in a family dynamic that is turned to good contributes to your grateful bucket. So right now, your grateful bucket has all the things that you love in it right now, and all the things that you heal one by one by one by one get put in that gratitude bucket. So every single time something is healed, our gratitude magnifies. And then the magnified gratitude is exactly that invitation for experiencing fabulous new experiences along the way. So what this lesson is today is an example of our vision and mission at work. These are tools for positive change, so that you may transform your life. I can't do it for you, but you can do it, and it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. If you do these things, your life will transform by using these positive tools for change. So in conclusion, the Divine Mother is so willing to give us the blessings that feel good. She is so willing to work with us to heal the places that can't receive the blessing yet, so that we can be in continual joy, and we can be happier and happier and happier every single day of 2015 and for the rest of our lives, so that all of those jelly beans, every single jelly bean, represents a happy day. That's what I want for all of us. Happy Mother's Day. So here is for those of you that haven't been here for a while or ever, we have a going deeper point. This is, you like everything so far, and you kind of, nothing really new has turned up yet for you. So the going deeper is, okay, here's your challenge. So the going deeper challenge is, I achieve this consciousness. Every thought of my mother inspires gratitude. That's what I want for us all. So before we go into the inner work, I want to remind you of one of the phrases from the What We Believe essay. We spent all of last year on Dr. Ernest Holmes' What We Believe essay, and in the slides before the service, all of those 12 statements appear. I want to reiterate one of them for us as we go into the inner work. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. So, if you would turn within on that beautiful affirmation, and imagine that what if your mother and you, and if you're a mom, you and your children are the perfect combination of people to bring about the ultimate goal of life, which is a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature. What if healing with your mom and healing with your children was the last straw that ultimately brought peace on earth? Because we know that peace on earth will not come with us being able to say, I contributed to peace and I've been able to maintain resentment. That will not happen. Healing resentment in every single instance is necessary. And so in this moment, anything from the acknowledgments at the beginning of the talk, through the examples, any resentment, any hurt that you have been reminded of, whether it is yours or someone else's, bring that to mind right now. Letting it be very clear in your mind, the felt state of this hurt, surrounding it with light, golden light, and beautiful fragrance, surrounding it with the most beautiful music, surrounding it with earthly beauty, and just holding it there, and then noticing one little strand of this hurt that perhaps you could pull. You reach into that beautiful place of beautiful music and beautiful fragrance. You pick that one little string and begin to pull. And the hurt and the resentment falls apart. we don't have to ask where it's gone, because there's no law to support hurt or resentment at all. And once it is disassembled, it completely disappears. And so in this instance, we work at disappearing one resentment, one hurt, and feel the joy and the gratitude that comes flooding in. This is great work. This transforms lives. We all do this for each other and ourselves. Blessed be, and so it is.